We're going to set all the bad business of baseball aside, and we're going to walk into the shrine at Cooperstown.
In Cooperstown. And look at the top of the list is Ichiro. This is a nice class.
Yeah, it was a really cool class. Ichiro Suzuki. I think the most amazing thing to me is he did this for 19 years with Seattle, the Yankees, and other clubs after he had done it for another 7 or 8 years in Japan. His statistics are just overwhelming. And obviously, I think we always thought the greatest player of all time, we never got to see here in Major League Baseball, was Sabathia O. And I think right now, Ichiro's across-the-board statistics are so much more impressive than anything that Sabathia O accomplished. But Suzuki, 3,089 hits, 509 stolen bases, 311 career batting average over 19 years, 10-time Gold Glove, 3-time Silver Slugger, 2 batting titles. All this on top of almost 1,300 hits he had in Japan. Just absolutely amazing. CC Sabathia. It begs the question, should Cooperstown be for the greatest of all time, or should it also include the very good of all time? Now, CC Sabathia was a young pitcher who got to the major leagues in Cleveland, went to Montreal, had started with the New York Yankees. He won 251 games. He struck out over 3,000 batters over the course of the game. So he kind of straddles that phraseology, greatness versus really, really good. And the last one was Billy Wagner, dominant flamethrower. Now, he pitched for 16 years, 9 years, a really dominant closer. You know, when Mariano Rivera and Trevor Hoffman kicked the door down, because relievers had never been allowed in the Hall of Fame, they were a specialist. Those guys, after they got to their 500 save mark, they qualified, Lee Smith, all that. And now you get Billy Wagner, 422 career saves, unbelievable strikeouts. He struck out 35% of the batters that he retired coming into the bullpen. That was really dominant. So those three get in. And then there's the star, whom some think he should be in. Preponderance of people say no. Alex Rodriguez, 699 career home runs, only got 37% of the vote. And of course, the clock is ticking. You're on the ballot for 10 years. If you never get to 75%, you don't get in. Just ask Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens about that. A-Rod, strutting around like he belongs. A-Rod, a fraud, a cheat. 699 home runs, got only 37% of the vote again, just to bump up from where he was a year ago. So go ahead, talk about the Japanese star, talk about the frontline pitcher, talk about the closer.
Ichiro is awesome. I mean, he just was such a great guy. Besides his amazing talent, you know, the cultural impact. I mean, I even see some of these wacky videos on X of him doing these insane things on a baseball diamond that you would never think that a right fielder would do. I mean, and he just handles himself with great class too. I mean, he's just all-star across the board, yet he wasn't voted in unanimously. I mean, what the heck?
I got all but one vote.
Yeah, but still, who would not vote for Ichiro? That's like the easiest decision of all. Yeah, the other two guys, Sabathia and Wagner, they to me are similar, that they mostly played on the East Coast, you know, and they both had very good careers. And for moments, you know, during their career, I really kind of paid attention to them. And then for a while, I forgot about them. And then you'd say, oh yeah, that guy's still playing and he's still kicking butt. And eventually they kind of pile up the numbers like Don Sutton of the Dodgers.
Concur with you. And thoughts on A-Rod, A-Fraud, A-Cheat?
That guy is just, I don't like him as an announcer, you know, or as a commentator guy. They're obviously making a clear line here on the steroid thing, but there's still a lot of guys that have gotten in there. We're certainly on the juice, you know, but he's being targeted and he should be targeted.
Okay. You got an opinion on the Baseball Hall of Fame? Feel free to jump on board. Just a quick storyline flashback. I go to spring training to do my sports talk show over the Padres spring training camp for all the years. I was on 690 and 1090. I remember, I don't recall the year, but it was the first or second year Ichiro had come from Japan. So I went over, I think I might have gone to Tempe because I think they were still doing spring training in Tempe, the Mariners, before they built Peoria. And I went over there and I wanted to just watch him in batting practice. I had never seen anybody stand at the plate with his bat ready for the pitch, and as the pitcher is going in, him shuffling in the batter's box, moving his feet, and stepping into the box before he ever swung the bat.
Yeah.
The guy was swinging while his lower extremities were in motion, and he was doing it to position where I'm hitting the ball. And we were spoiled because Tony Gwynn would get out of bed and drive one through the 5-5 hole on the first pitch of spring. This guy, based on movement of feet, would drive it that way or drive it this way or pull it down the line or spray it to center. All the while, I'd never seen anybody move in the batter's box like that. We saw guys who would raise their front foot and swing and get lift and all that. This guy was actually moving in different parts of the batter's box before he swung at the pitch. Never seen that.
You know where they do that a lot, or not a lot, but a significant amount is in girls softball. And if you're like a top of the order hitter, where speed is your thing, they have them moving in the box as they hit, like to lay down a bunt. And they're already like 3 strides into their run up to only a 60-foot baseline. So it's common there. But yeah, Ichiro did it in MLB. And I remember seeing that too. And I was remarked by that. The other part of it is, and I think it's part of the same part of the mechanics, his hips seem to open up before the bat comes around to a greater degree than most American players. And if you look at Ohtani, it's similar to the way Ichiro swung.
Yeah. Except Ohtani's got a powerful snap of his wrist. I mean, I watch Ohtani closely, and I thought Roberto Clemente might have had the greatest swing of all in terms of flexibility, wrist with power behind it. And Ohtani is beyond that. But Ichiro's bat control, hand-eye coordination with the bat while he's moving his feet in the box, to me is amazing. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's very difficult, at least when I've seen it, at the local girls softball leagues, it's hard for them to do it. I can't imagine doing it, facing a 100-mile-an-hour ball.
Okay, you got an opinion. Fans Forum chat box is open for Hall of Famers. Don't be lame. Show me your game. Your thoughts on Ichiro, your thoughts on A-Rod, and whether or not he deserves to get in. Hey,